The next race on the day is the big one, and this is the Champion Hurdle. I think this is a race where we all expect to see Belvedere back in the winners' enclosure yet again. This is a Grade 1 race over 2 miles. Currently 2 to 5 on for Nicky Henderson, a 7-year-old horse. He's only been beaten once over hurdles, and he was third in that race. But when you take that race apart and you look at who actually beat him, the winner of that race was Altior, and in second place was Min. So you can see that there is some quality there, and he wasn't. I mean, Altior won the race comfortably, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't that far behind Min. So for me, and he's come on a lot since then. We all knew he won this race last year. He drifted like a barge last year, really. I remember backing him at anti-post markets at 2 to 1, and by the time that the off came, he was actually 5 to 1. But Noel Feely gave him a great ride the whole way round, and he kicked up the hill. So for me, he a very comfortable winner in the end on good soft ground. He jumps very well. He's very quick. He's very accurate. Again, doesn't give much daylight. A bit like Footpad. The only way that I could see this horse being beaten in this race is if it doesn't finish the race. If he's involved at the end, I don't expect this horse to be beaten. Would I be backing him at 2 to 5? I don't like to get involved heavily in horses that are odds on. However, this horse, I think it's probably worth it. I might have it to win in a lengths market somewhere as well, just for a little bit of added extra value. The second horse in here for me at the moment is Forheen at 11 to 2 for Willie Mullins. Whereas Belvedere is a 7-year-old, Forheen is now 10. I'm starting to wonder, is he over the hill? Should Connections now retire him before they ruin what has been a really good career, and to start ruining a legacy that he's leaving behind? He was pulled up earlier this year. He then came out afterwards and he ran second to Super Sunday, who we'll see in the Stayers hurdle later on in the week. He did attempt to make all that day, and he just didn't quite last time. He wasn't beaten by far, but it's not the Forheen of old. The Forheen of old would have won that race quite comfortably, I think. So for me, as much as I do like to see quality horses out, I do wonder why Forheen is here, on the basis that there's still clearly an underlying problem somewhere, and I think that realistically the horse should be retired now. Another horse in here for me, and he brings a smile to everyone's face as soon as you talk about him, and this is currently 10 to 1 third favourite for Nicky Henderson. He is now 11 years old, but this is good old My Tent or Yours. He loves to finish second at Cheltenham Festivals. He bumped into Belvedere last year. He always bumps into quality horses. He just doesn't quite have that quality to finish first in festival races. Saying that, last time out was the Unibet Hurdle here at Cheltenham. He beat the new one in there, and he beat Mellon in the same race, and Mellon reopposes again today. The pace angle, potentially an outsider for me. We know that, again, didn't quite live up to everything that he was meant to, but this is old Charlie Parks. If Charlie Parks jumps and travels, I'm not saying he's going to win the race, don't get me wrong, but it could certainly be involved at the end. It could give Belvedere something to aim for as well, if that's the plan with them. Belvedere doesn't necessarily need it, but you never know what the angle is going to be here. The youngest horse in this market is currently 6 years old, and that is Mellon. Like I say, he's got a lot to find with Belvedere. He's got a lot to find all over for me. He's regressed over the last year and not progressed as much. He was quite fancied last year for the Supreme to be beaten by Lebeque. And we all know Lebeque's problems at jumping off. So if Mellon can pick up in here, second or third is probably the best it could hope for. I can't see anything getting near Belvedere though. The only thing to beat it, like I say, will be if Belvedere pulls up with an injury or falls, for me. So, like I say, I'll probably play the market. I'll probably play the lengths market to get a bit of added extra value. Would I be back in My Tent or Yours to finish second again? Probably not, but at the same time I wouldn't be surprised at all. We all know what My Tent does when it comes to Cheltenham.